Hi there, I am Bethany Londyn, founder of healthAddiKt and the Mainstream Mission, where we are taking the alternative out of alternative care. We are looking to raise consciousness around health and well-being, and we're bringing to you stories from different people that have different backgrounds, whether it's a doctor or fitness expert or someone that's cured themselves through stretching. There are so many different unique and alternative methods that people aren't even aware of. And so we're here to share that journey with you. And I'm so excited that you've come to listen. And please share if this supports you with your people, because everyone deserves to hear these amazing messages of people taking on their health. So thank you again.
All right, I am here with Joel of HANAH Life. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Because you capitalize it, so I don't know. There's a special way to say it. And I'm excited to hear his story. I've been told I needed to talk to him, needed to hear his story and share it with the world. So here we are. And we started off 5 seconds ago talking about surgeries, coming out of surgeries, and then eating hot dogs.
Yes, which is what I've been served after surgeries.
And I know somebody that was terminally ill, and what's it, a colostomy bag, and they're feeding her sandwiches and chips and ice cream.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, are you really trying to help this person out? Because it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it's basically like the worst thing. You'd be better off not eating than eating some of the stuff that they give you post-op.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, a friend of mine's mother was just in the hospital and had a scare with a hernia near the stomach, and the stomach twisted while she was sleeping, and so they had to go in and they almost had to remove part of the stomach.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, her esophagus, they had to pump her stomach, and they destroyed her esophagus, so she can't eat food for 3 weeks. And I mean, here's a person who's really, really healthy. We were trying to figure out what she's eating because it's sort of close to the family. Mm-hmm. And she said that, she was eating healthy. So she was eating like protein shakes and soup out of a can and pudding and tapioca and things like this. And it's just like, it's really scary that,
like the soup sounded good.
Well, Campbell's soup from a can, hey, no offense. I love a good tomato soup from a can, but it's
good,
just
like chicken noodle Campbell's soup. No,
it's probably not the best thing to put into your body. I mean, imagine if you had somebody there, like a nutritionist that said, look, these are the juices you should be drinking. These are the bone broths you should be taking. And, I would, take these fruits, mix them up with vegetables, liquefy them,
Yeah.
Eating pudding after invasive surgery is probably not, sugar laden pudding is probably not the best thing to put into your body. Anyway, that's just where I'm really coming from is everybody getting a fair shake, and people in power in these places, they have this sort of like God complex that, you're at the whim of the doctor. And so you take whatever he says, you take it to heart. So when they say, oh, liquid diet, that's the extent of their nutrition plan that they're giving somebody. And we all know how important
milkshake.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. I had a tonsillectomy. Okay, you can have milkshakes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you share with us, because obviously HANAH Life has a story behind it.
Yeah. So
I would love to hear the story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give you the short version here, but so about 8 years ago, I'd been living in Prague for the last 20 years.
Okay.
I studied in Austria, and I was living in the Czech Republic and Prague, and I had a couple of startup businesses there. I worked pretty heavily in the film industry, and I was doing a lot of sports. So I was training for Ironman and doing mountain bike and bike races in my free time. And while I was training 8 years ago, I had a pretty horrific bike accident, really bad. I ripped my shoulder apart, and I hit my head so hard that I had a concussion that I've had a couple of concussions, but I never had anything so severe. And the gaping injury was the collarbone sticking out of my back, and the fact that I had potential infection risk, and I had to have surgery, and I was in the hospital for a couple of days. But when I came out, and here I'm in the Czech Republic, I came out and I had the concussion symptoms were horrible. I couldn't close my eyes, so I couldn't sleep. I had gaps in my memory. I really didn't think that I would ever be normal again. And the sleep deprivation was pretty horrible, because your body is just ridiculously tired. It needs to sleep. And I wasn't able to do that. So, minutes were eternity, and I was in a really bad place. And I knew that I just knew, they were giving me some pain pills and sleeping pills and things like that, which I wasn't taking. And, I just knew that wasn't the right path. And so through a series of serendipitous events, I found an Indian Ayurvedic doctor after doing a meditation. I would have tried anything at this point.
What's the time frame we're talking?
This is about 8 days after the accident. And so I had the surgery. I had had the surgery. My arm was locked up like this. I had pins in the shoulder, but I couldn't function as a normal person. I didn't know if I would ever be back to normal. Like I said, the concussion symptoms were serious, so I was willing to try anything. And I met this Indian Ayurvedic doctor by the name of George Essay. And over the course of 5 days, he gave me a recipe, about 5 or 6 herbs, some teas, some different tonics, some pills, actually this one cream that I was putting in my nose, and then he gave me some dietary things. And I stuck with that, and I noticed instant sort of a calming sensation. And then after about 5 days, I was able to sleep again. So there was a direct correlation, between me coming back to normal. And obviously when you're in a place like that, it's really hard. It's a heavy moment in your life. And so you make all kinds of agreements with the powers that be. And, you
do this, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
I will never.
Exactly. And it wasn't even really like that. I was just so interested in, the feelings and what was happening with these herbs. And I started everything he gave me had all these weird names, and I started researching them, and I saw that they were also good for, other types of recovery and for sport and for mental clarity, memory recall, all kinds of different things. Anti-tumor, anti-cancer, stuff like that. So I started working with him closely on a rehab program with these herbs. So rehabilitation of the shoulder, because now that the head injury was subsiding, I still had to heal.
Just via the herbs, not like physical therapy?
Yeah, no, just because I couldn't move the shoulder at this point.
Oh,
it was totally locked in position. Okay. I had pins that were almost like poking through the skin because of how the collarbone basically ripped through all of the muscles and ligaments in my shoulder. So they had to really pull it back. And so that, wasn't a pretty thing. And I had a lot of, damage in there and soft tissue damage. And I was able to heal. So everything reconnected after about 60 days. The doctor said 90. But after about 60 days, my body started to reject the pins. So I went to the doctor. He said, we have to take the pins out. And after they took the pins out, I did some mobility stuff quickly with them. And they said, look, it looks pretty good. I was able to do push-ups, like light push-ups, about 65 days after the accident. And, I would definitely, I owe this to, a good diet and the right herbal supplements. We really dialed it in and gave the body everything it needed, nutrient-wise and mineral-wise, to heal itself as quick as possible. So, now that was over, I was back to training, and I was back on the bicycle, swimming, running, and I was using the herbs then because I saw that they had, the ability to help with, horsepower, stamina. They improved the blood picture, things like that. And I started to notice that my times and my output was way up. So it was really it was really the trifecta.
Something's coming to me right now. I'm wondering if just bear with me. If just the fact that you were reading what all these herbs, like the possibilities of what they could do, and knowing that, like from a mindset, I'm wondering if that had played anything into it as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. I would always recommend, like whenever I give somebody a product or like an herb, or a lot of my friends, athletes, I'll give them ashwagandha, and I send them information and I tell them, read about it, because you have to know what it is. I feel that it's part of it. They talk about the placebo effect. There's obviously some correlation there. So if you're going to take something, don't take it mindlessly. Take it, with the intention
consciously.
Consciously. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going.
no, that was definitely a big part of it, was understanding and knowing what you're putting into your body. I've talked about this with friends as well. It's like, I think that's just as important as what you're putting into your body is, understanding what it is and what it's going to be doing to
So
you.
your health ended up getting better. You became stronger, faster,
Yeah.
smarter.
Yeah, basically, living in the Czech Republic. I wasn't speaking English all the time. So even doing an interview like this, now I've been living in California for the last 9, 10 months, so my English has come back. But you're obviously still fluent in English, but you miss words, you lose words, and when you're in this free flow type of conversation like we're having right now, I would find myself, having lost words.
Mhm.
So memory recall is very important. And, speaking a couple of languages, I noticed that a lot of the herbs were great for that. They just sort of open up some of those cobwebbed places in the mind.
The computer of the mind.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, funny. Okay, so what were you doing in the Czech Republic anyway?
I had studied in Vienna, and I just absolutely loved Prague. And then I got a job right out of school working for a bank, and they sent me to Prague 6 months later. I worked for this bank. We did a private placement for what is now a big technology company called ABG. And then I got out of that business. I didn't want to work for anybody or work in a bank or anything like that.
Not your calling.
No, not at all. So I got out and then started I had worked in the film industry a lot as a kid. I was doing a lot of voice work and some acting work. So I got thrown into that. They pulled me back in over in the Czech Republic. They shoot a lot of movies and commercials over there. And then I started doing some production work as well. And just kind of a utility player in the film world. It was kind of the Wild West when I got there in '97. So they just needed people to be around people that understood the industry. So I had my one toe in that world, and then I was building and selling companies, building up. Yeah, I had a clothing company, restaurant delivery company. We had a nightclub, and then some sport nutrition stuff.
True entrepreneur. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, and so all of this and Ayurvedic practices led you back to health and to start your own company, another one.
Yes. Well, what happened? So this
of many, it sounds like.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was always kind of, there were a little bit of, there was some, how would you call that? Layered. I always had one or two or three different things going on, and so I had a sport nutrition company in the Czech Republic, but I was really starting to. Get the world of supplements and vitamins, and you just don't know where they're coming from, and then finding the world of Ayurveda and Ayurvedic herbs. I was trying to figure out a way to create a product. What I was doing is I was mixing like 10 or 12 different herbs together myself. So I would make like a tonic in the morning, and it was just these powders that I would buy from India or the States or whatever, and then mix them all together. And I had been working very closely with this Ayurvedic doctor for 7 years. We just kept in contact. We were close friends. I used him for anytime I had a health issue.
The first one that you, okay.
Dr. S.A. We were just best friends. I loved the guy. He was amazing, and he was so full of wisdom. And I would always just shoot him, ideas of like, this is what I'm mixing, and this is what I'm doing with it. And
what do you think?
What do you think? And then eventually he introduced me to a guy in India, Dr. Venugopal, who I work with today and who I work with on HANAH. And I was sending him the information, and he started talking about like where are these herbs from that you're getting? Do you know where they're from? Because that's very, very important. It's like the difference between a tomato, from Tuscany, or a tomato that you buy at the Costco.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. It's all about terroir. It's like grapes as well. It's all about terroir. Where it's grown, how it's fertilized, does it grow indigenously, etc. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing was maximizing bioavailability, because this is something that nobody really talks about. Is that for example, turmeric is the big fad right now. So everybody's all on turmeric. But what you don't realize is that turmeric, the curcumin, which is the the thing inside of turmeric, which has all the benefits. The
Cumin?
No, curcumin, the curcuminoids.
Okay, not cumin separate. Okay.
Yeah, so in turmeric, turmeric is anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-tumor, very good for you. But what they don't tell you is that it's not absorbed into the body unless it's mixed with something like black pepper, piperine, and that increases the bioavailability by 2,000%. So
I don't like pepper. I totally put turmeric on everything.
Yeah.
But not pepper.
Yeah, but that's why they cook with it. That's why, like in Indian Ayurvedic, it's like a lot of ghee, a lot of turmeric, and a lot of that black pepper, and then a lot of other spices. And the ghee also works as a transport device. So when you get into this conversation, it's all about, maximizing availability of the nutrients that are in these herbs. Mm-hmm. Because, a lot of them, all the studies, understanding the way that the FDA works, they make like in vivo studies, in vitro studies on herbs. And then they come out and they say, oh, these herbs are proven, like curcuminoids in turmeric are proven to be anti-cancer. So now they can officially say that it's anti-cancer. But what they don't tell you is that it's not bioavailable. So you're only getting like minuscule amounts of it, even if you were to drink a gallon of turmeric juice.
Really?
So so that's why it has to be mixed with other things. And so this is something that's been known in Ayurveda for thousands of years. Mm-hmm. And so when I told them, I was mixing all these herbal powders together, they said, look, it's definitely good for you. It's better than nothing. But the way that they do it in India is they come up with a mix that's based on their ancient knowledge, and then they put it in a base of honey, ghee, sesame oil, and raw sugarcane, and they mix it up, and they create these pastes. They're called rasayanas or chaiwanaprash, and obviously there's a huge different array of different types of these things. But I started getting into this world, and after a couple of years working with this Ayurvedic doctor and plugging in the variables that I wanted to see addressed, we came up with a product which is 30 different herbs mixed together. They cook over the course of a couple of days, and then it's mixed with honey, Ayurvedic ghee.
Is this the spice water?
No.
Okay.
The product is like a paste. It's like a honey consistency. It's a little bit thicker than honey, and that's what it looks like viscosity wise. And the taste is very much like a chai masala, chocolatey sort of taste. And it's all the herbs are hand picked, wild crafted in India, in the right terroir, in the places where they grow naturally, and then it's a big process. So we gather them, and then we bring them to traditional manufacturing plants, and we create this product, which is called HANAH 1. And I started doing it for myself, and I started handing it out to friends, and they loved it, and it's just sort of grown from there. And then we eventually turned it into a company.
And now you're all over the world.
Yeah, now to start, giving it to the world. So
giving it to the
where
world.
we're at.
The first person that we interviewed, the first podcast, was Dr. Anna Parang. She's a Western medicine practitioner, but she's in the certification processes for integrative medicine, and she does Ayurvedic, and so she did all my stuff and says I'm Pitta.
You're Pitta, yeah, me too. I'm Pitta.
I don't fully understand all the, I understand there's kind of the personality characteristics along with diet and heart rate, but I don't fully get it.
Yeah, well, I think it's what they've done is it's just a different way to address health issues. Mm-hmm. And it's Vata, Pitta, Kapha are the three. So what is it? Vata is wind,
but more Pitta, I guess.
Yeah, Vata is wind, Pitta is fire, Kapha is earth. And the way that it works is that so you are all three of these things. Look at it, it's like a triangle. And whenever one of them gets too far out of whack, so too far imbalanced, that's when illness hits.
Right.
And Western medicine looks at it, as what are the symptoms, and then they address, just so if it's, for example, I don't know, throat cancer. They would just look at the throat and then how do I, target that area and fix the throat. But then, what Ayurveda would do would look at the root causes of what are the imbalances, what type of food are you eating? What type of environment are you living in? Are you smoking? Are you doing this? And then, they would look at it from a different way. So it's just a different way of addressing issues and problems and imbalances.
So then you're addressing the whole entire body.
Right. Rather than just targeting one thing.
Well, that's what I'm all about. Like with healthAddiKt, I'm like, this is proactive versus reactive.
Yes.
It's about the whole body, everything, even intuitive. But so with Ayurvedic, my thing with it is that it feels very, and maybe it's just the diet I was put on, but it's so many carbs that I started feeling so sleepy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what your thoughts are on the diet. Run us through a day of your eating. How about that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I never really stick with a Ayurvedic eating plan.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's more, I don't know enough about what you just told me about your eating plan. But yeah, I mean, my days are, I start with a shake in the morning. It's like a smoothie tonic shake that contains, right now I'm doing water and coconut milk, and banana, frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries, and then maca powder, cordyceps mushroom powder, coconut oil, a little bit of ghee, what else? And then a big scoop of HANAH 1 of our product in that.
No coffee?
And then, so I'll have that first.
Okay.
And then I'll usually have a little coffee after that, and I'm usually doing the buttery brew, so butter, coconut oil, and the coffee, which sort of slows the release of the caffeine, and it's got it's adaptogenic with some ashwagandha in there and HANAH 1. I'll put that in the coffee as well, and it's like a time release caffeine, sustained energy, and then I'm usually not hungry until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And right now I'm having a bone broth. I'll drink like a bone broth, but maybe, or a big juice and some sort of salad or a wrap. I'm living in Venice Beach, so that it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And then for dinner, it depends on how much training I'm doing, or I do so much training that I can pretty much eat whatever I want. But obviously, I do eat very, very.
He's a CrossFitter, people.
once in a while. And then with cycling, you just have to eat. You're just eating as much as you possibly can all the time.
Yeah.
But right now, I would say I'm doing a lot of soups in the evening. I like steak. I'll do, steak 2 or 3 times a week. I like, halibut, any white fish, a lot of vegetables, cooked vegetables, potatoes, things like that. So I'm not really sticking to a strict Ayurvedic diet, but I'm very, very conscious about what I eat. Mm-hmm. And, one of the things about Ayurveda that's, working with Dr. Venugopal, who's great, it's very much, it's not, he talks about desires. Like, it's very important to feed your desires, obviously, to keep everything in balance, just like the Vata Pitta Kapha, keep your life in balance. But if you really crave something, you should eat that, or you should do that. It's, to stick with something.
Do it.
Yeah, you should
take 20 deep breaths and then decide if you really want it. But
yeah, exactly. So I'm a big fan of, obviously conscious eating, but I don't really stick to any particular diet. I just try to eat light and healthy, and let that dictate what I eat.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So you have basically incorporated it into supplements that you guys sell.
Yes. Well, it's just one. It's not it's a food. We have to call it a food supplement, but it's or a botanical supplement or herbal supplement, just because of the FDA. But it's more of a food. It has really no contraindications with anything, and we have this one product, and we're currently selling it in jars and in single packs. So like the sport gel goo packs. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of a replacement for that, and also for individuals like us that are traveling a lot and want to take some healthy stuff with them on the road. You can't take jars. You can't take this jar through TSA if you're not checking the bag. So we've made these small packets so people can travel with them, and then athletes can use them when they're on the go and things like that.
So have you been working with various like athletes and stuff and getting all sorts of reviews and.
Yeah, we have been. We've teamed up with Jimmy Chin. I don't know if you know him. He's a North Face athlete, National Geographic photographer. He just released a movie called Maru.
Okay.
And it's a movie about climbing this thing called the shark fin in India, and it's basically unclimbable. And so we're working with, some adventure athletes that are doing that type of stuff, high altitude climbing, alpine climbing. A lot of snowboarders, a lot of skiers are loving it. Endurance athletes, runners, mountain bikers, cyclists.
And so they're reporting, like, what are they reporting back to you from the product?
So we've probably tested this out on we did an alpha test with in the thousands of people, and the number one thing that people are reporting back is increased energy and like mental focus and clarity.
Ooh, okay.
So heightened brain function, increased endurance, energy, stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice.
I have to get you some if you haven't tried it yet. So
I have not tried it yet.
Okay, well, we got to get you some immediately. I gave her a packet yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah, send me your address, please, and I'll have some stuff sent over to you immediately.
Awesome. Well, we're nearby.
Oh yeah.
So we can just meet up and have bone broth.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. So I'm curious, like, because we're almost at 30 minutes. I would love for you maybe like the takeaways, if you were to share with somebody that's just listening to this for the first time and just becoming aware of Ayurvedic in general, like what would your takeaways be that you'd want to share?
Well, I really love, I don't know where, I think I saw it on the one of your sites connected to you, and it's like taking the alternative out of alternative medicine. I mean,
yes,
that's
really, like our tagline.
I can't, even talking to conscious people that are like totally open.
Yeah.
There's just this weird PR. And I'll tell people about what I'm doing, and they're going, "Oh, so you mean alternative medicine?" And that to me is just it like makes my blood boil.
This goes back 2,000 years.
Yeah. So I mean, the takeaway is, this isn't alternative medicine. Eating healthy is the number one thing. Eating, breathing, living fully, living happily is the most important thing that you can do, and it's all preventative. And just to do 2 things a day if you're in a space where you feel overwhelmed, because I know that is, decision fatigue is huge with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That they just, I want to start. That's why Fitbit sells, is because they're selling you this dream that all you have to do is wear something on your wrist and you're going to be fit. But
take 10,000 steps.
Right. It's just a real shame.
Good. It's a good start.
It's a good start, but it's just I think people are a little bit overwhelmed by decision fatigue. And I think that if you can just choose 1 or 2 things and start with that, whether it be your morning ritual, if you're waking up and chugging 3 cups of coffee before you do anything, I can almost guarantee you that just by changing that, you would change your life, or if you're getting completely hammered every single night, maybe you might want to stop doing that. But yes,
we'd hope that would be obvious, but okay.
Yeah, but I would just say, and in terms of, you can check out our website. It's HANAH Life, HANAH life.com. There's a lot of good blogs on there, just really simple stories about, my discovery of it. Ayurveda isn't exclusive or anything. It's all about just, it's the science of life and using what's around you to live a healthy, happy, and a full life, and it's not exclusive, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a monk. It just,
no.
Just
right.
Yeah, just have as much fun as possible all the time, and fill your body with good
take
stuff.
Care of yourself. People don't want to do it. People just don't want to do it. So it's about creating like a fun way or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Creating making it fun. And it always, it is.
Exciting.
It just sometimes can seem daunting.
Mm-hmm. I just read The Miracle Morning. That's good too. Just like a different way of starting your day and grounding yourself in health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing your story and spreading the message of consciousness around health, because that's what I am all about, and HealthAddiKt, of course. And We'll have everybody check out your website. We'll put all the notes,
Awesome.
all the information in the show notes and all that good stuff.
Cool. And get in touch. Let's meet up.
And get in touch. Okay.
You're in Venice.
So you're in Venice?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in Marina Del Rey. We'll make
right.
it happen. Abercrombie.
All right. Okay, Bethany.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of our podcast. And
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Spread the love. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Bethany. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you were as inspired as I was for that last message. So powerful, so powerful. And remember, if you have friends and family that also have powerful messages, we want to get them out. They deserve to be heard because we all learn from each other, and there are so many unique ways of healing ourselves that doctors don't even know about. I don't even know about until someone shares with me. So support the mainstream mission. Let's show everyone that there is another way, and let's crush the word alternative so that it's care. We are just being in self-care and proactive about our health, which is our wealth, and yeah, that's what it's all about here at Health Addict and the mainstream mission. So please share, and thank you so much again for joining us, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye.